how life came from nothing. Because right now we're just talking about where the universe came from. You know, well, it came from a little dot that was so small you can't see, and then it expanded in 1 trillionth of a second. But where did life come from? Right? Because everybody wants to talk about evolution. Well, I'm sick of talking about evolution because you know what? Evolution doesn't even matter anyway. Because where did life come from? You know, evolution tells you how one animal supposedly turned into a different animal. I want to know where that first animal came from. So they're trying to figure out where it came from. So they're trying to recreate the conditions on this earth from which life spontaneously generated. And the first living organism came to life. And so they're doing this thing, I talked about this morning, about how they've got $121,000 given to them by NASA to basically drop objects from 10 stories up, okay, and try to smash sugars and proteins because they're trying to simulate what it would be like if a meteor hit the Earth, because what they're saying is that maybe a meteor brought in like the first life forms. Okay? But they said no, because when the meteor hit the Earth, they'd all die. Or all the sugars would be destroyed. So they're like, well, let's get some sugar, and let's drop things on top of it. Let's drop an anvil on it from 10 stories up and see what happens, okay? It's possible that groundbreaking clues could come from the research, the duo said. They're the ones receiving the money. Okay. The collective thinking among scientists for years was that substances couldn't survive the force of impact from a meteorite hitting Earth. So the stuff that makes up everything we know to have had to have existed here previously. It wasn't until 1997 that the duo said that shock chemistry research proved substances could survive. Well, look, something being dropped from 10 stories probably isn't the same as like a meteor hitting Earth. I don't know. But again, let me catch myself. I'm a layman. I don't know. Okay. You know, little research has been done in that field since. I wonder why. Maybe because it's stupid? No one's researching it? This is really cool, said student Erica Bennett, 19. This is cool. Who helped Zellner and McCaffrey do some of the preliminary research on the substances? The Rockford native said she didn't think she'd get the chance to participate in an origin of life research, and said the experience had helped her decide her major. I feel really lucky that I came to a place like this and had this opportunity, she said. It's really cool. You get to like drop things. I think I'm going to major in this. Okay, and they say like, oh, it evolved from these really simple life forms, right? Well, I wanted to say this, so I looked up like, what is the simplest animal on the whole planet? That's a pretty good question, right? Yeah, because they're saying these really simple animals, really simple. So okay, well, let's find something really simple, you know, and just see how simple it is. So I got this right here, the simplest animal on the planet. Now that's a picture of it, okay? Hey, that's pretty simple, huh? Looks pretty simple? Yeah, it's basically like a blob. Okay, you see that? So it's pretty simple. Okay, we'll pass it around afterward. An animal without complex structures defies taxonomists. The structure and genomics of the phylum Placozoa. That's what we're learning about right now, the Placozoa. This species is called Trichophlax adherens, which means, that's the Latin for hairy, flat, sticky thing. That's literally what it says. That's the Latin for hairy, flat, and sticky. So here's the thing. Scientists sit around and say, like, what are we going to call this thing? Well, hairy, flat, sticky thing doesn't really sound very professional. So let's just, like, translate that into Latin. Oh, it's the Trichophlax adherens. But it's really just, you know, they just make themselves sound smart by putting it in another language, you know. So it means hairy, flat, sticky thing. It's 1 millimeter in length. It has 3 components of its body, a squishy, fibrous middle layer held between 2 ciliated layers of single cells, one above and the other below. Now it says here, I'm going to skip a little bit for taking time, but it says, utter simplicity. This is how simple this organism is. Are you ready for this? Trichophlax only has 4 cell types. This is the simplest animal. And it says the whole body consists of no more than 1,000 cells. Okay? And listen to this. This is how simple this thing is. Utter simplicity. There are only 6 pairs of chromosomes which carry less than 12,000 genes. I mean, that's pretty simple. It only has 12,000 genes. I can see how that could easily just come from nowhere. Now, who knows what factorial means? Who's the math guru, right? What's 12,000 factorial? Pretty big number, right? That's how many different combinations, you know, you could have and stuff like this. And I'm just obviously oversimplifying. But the bottom line is here, 12,000 genes? Sounds pretty complicated to me. Six pairs of chromosomes. Well, human beings only have 23 pairs of chromosomes, and we're pretty complex. Even this little tiny, and look, I looked up several websites. They all agreed this is the simplest animal on the planet. This animal has 12,000 genes approximately. The simplest, what is the simplest organism known? So this is not just animal, but this is just the simplest organism. Okay, that was the simplest animal. Okay, this is called Mycoplasma genitalium. Okay? Now, I can see why they put that one in Latin. But anyway, it says the simplest free-living organism, Mycoplasma genitalium, with a genome of only 580,000 base pairs. Oh, is that all? Just 580,000 base pairs? And 482 protein-coding genes. Oh, okay. Well, I could easily see how that could just come from accident or by nothing. Only 482 protein-coding genes? Mycoplasma genitalium is a tiny parasitic bacteria that lives in the digestive and genital tracts of primates. By comparison, Carcinella rudi, an endosymbiotic bacteria that lives in plant lice, has a genome of only 159,662 base pairs with just 182 genes, the smallest known. That's a lot of genes. That's a lot of stuff to just randomly come from nowhere. And that's assuming that you believe in evolution, which is garbage anyway, which is never, can't be observed, can't be tested. But look, even if you believe in evolution, where did this microgenitalia thing come from? You know what I mean? To start evolving. Where did this weird sponge thing, the Trichoplax, flat, sticky, hairy thing, where did it come from? You know what I mean?